Hey guys, this is Aaron with Efficient Tennis Development, and today I want to dive into the topic of what are college coaches looking for in recruits, right? If you're, a high-level high school player, a good, junior player, and you're looking to, take your game to the next level, to compete at the college level, you got to be able to impress a college coach. You got to be able to make it on a roster, and this video will help you guide you into what college coaches are really looking for in players, right? So stay tuned. All right, so myself, I'm the head coach here at Whittier College, and these are some things that I'm really looking for in players that come to play on my team or want to play on my team. Now, we compete at a very high Division III level. There are different levels of college tennis. There's Division I, Division II, Division III. There's NAIA, as well as JUCO, junior college level. And there's a difference between the levels. Division I, you're going to have a lot more schools who have fully funded programs, meaning that they can, pay for athletic scholarships for a lot of their players, and therefore the level or the depth of their team is much higher, right? So if you look at the top teams in the nation, your teams in the Pac-12, UCLA, USC, Stanford, those are schools that are really looking for the top talent of the recruit pool, because they can pay for it and they need players that can compete at the highest level of college tennis, right? So in order to compete kind of at that level, on the men's side, you're going to have to be 12, 13, even 14s UTR wise in order to even get looked at by those schools, right? It's going to be very difficult if you're not at least a 12 and competing hard and playing ITF tournaments, for them to even look at you. Now, there are lower end Division I programs that, being a 12, you'd be number one on their team, right? So there's a wide variety. Okay, Division II is usually going to have schools with some funding, but not fully funded, meaning that they may be able to offer anywhere between 1 to 4 scholarships, as opposed to like a 6 scholarship roster. So usually what that means is that their top couple of players are easily good enough to play at most Division I schools, but their lower end of the lineup is a little bit more vulnerable, not as tough as the top of their lineup, or as tough as the bottom of the lineup for Division I school, right? So if you want to play Division II tennis, and get on the roster, you're probably going to have to be above a 10.5 UTR to 11 UTR to play at a decent Division II level. Now, that doesn't mean it's impossible. Like I said, just like there's lower end Division I schools, there are lower end Division II schools. I'm coaching here in Southern California, which is one of the hottest spots for college tennis, right? And I'm coaching at Division III level, but the Division III level here in Southern California is a little bit different. I mean, a lot of our schools compete against Division I and Division II schools. The top couple of schools in our conference can easily play and do well in Division II. But our philosophy is a little bit different than the other divisions, right? So in Division III, our main goal, our priority, our philosophy revolves around the fact that our goal is to make sure that you have the best college experience possible, okay? And what that means is, obviously tennis is important to us. We're very, competitive. We're very, into our athletics. But student comes before athlete, right? Student athlete. So we make sure to prioritize your college experience and your academics ahead of everything else. Meaning, we're not going to be, deliberately trying to take you out of class to attend your competitions, right? We try to adjust our schedule. A lot of our matches will be played on the weekends, so you're not going to miss classes, right? Our practice schedules are going to be a little bit more accommodating to your class schedule, right? Our whole philosophy revolves around that fact, and some of the things that go into how we develop our schedule goes into with that philosophy in mind, right? So at Division III, you're going to have the best of both worlds. You're going to have a very athletic, very competitive environment, but you're also not going to take away from your academics, right? Whereas in Division I and Division II, if you're receiving an athletic scholarship, you're getting paid to perform, right? You're getting paid to produce results, and if you don't produce results, that can negatively affect you. They can take away your scholarship, right? So you tend to put your academics to the side, right? And we don't do that in Division III, okay? And that's the reason why Division III does not offer athletic scholarships. We do offer academic scholarships that are all merit-based, right? So that if you for some reason decide not to play tennis anymore, or if you say, hey, you know what, I really only want to focus on academics, you're not going to be penalized. You're not going to have your scholarship taken away. Whereas if you have that same decision at Division one school or Division two school, you could very well lose your athletic scholarship, right? With that being said, in order to compete in Division three, at a high level of Division three, you're looking at, on the men's side, anywhere between, probably a high, very high 9, low 10, all the way up to mid 12s, right? And then if you want to be competitive, if top 40 in the nation, your team has to be average at least an 11-5 in order to do well in this division, right? On the women's side for Division one, you're looking at a 9 to 11, 12s, some 13s at really high Division one schools, right? Division two, you're looking at 8, 9, 10, some 11s playing at the very top of the lineup. And then for Division three, top Division threes, you're looking at 7.5, 8, 9, up into the 10s. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean that there's not 11s or 12s in Division three. That doesn't mean there's not 8 or 7 or 8 in Division two. There is a wide array, so there's a lot of options for you, but it's also going to be about what you're looking for in a school, right? So looking at academics, looking at programs that are offered and things like that. And then finally, junior college is just for those who are looking to go to a 2-year and then transfer, a little bit cheaper of an option in case you do not get an athletic scholarship. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it gives you 2 more years to develop. If you do well at junior college level and you really develop your game, you can transfer and go to a 4-year program and be an impact player by being someone who's already had a little bit of experience compared to incoming freshmen. So that's always an option as well. Typically, when we look at the differences in divisions, Division one is going to have a much deeper lineup. I mean, they're 1 through 6, all going to be very, very solid, very tough to beat. Division two, we're looking at maybe 1 through 4, very solid, very tough to beat. Division three, it's usually like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 are really, really good players. And then JUCO is going to be, maybe their top 1, maybe 2, if they have like really good year, are going to be amazing, really good players that compete at the next level. And then we have NAIA, and NAIA is a little bit different. They're not governed by the NCAA rules. A lot of smaller colleges, a lot of religious affiliated colleges go NAIA. And what they do is, there's a wide array. You can have a lot of NAIA schools who would lose the most junior college programs, and you can have a lot of NAIA schools that would dominate in Division one, right? There's a wide range of levels across NAIA. If that's something you're interested in, that's also an option. They do tend to have a little bit more funding than some of the NCAA schools, right? But that's going to be on you to do a little bit of research on that, right? But getting into the bulk of what I want to talk about today is what are we looking for? What is a college coach looking for in an athlete? Well, as I said, to compete at these levels, you do have to have a certain level of tennis, right? The UTR is a good indicator. It's not as accurate at this point in time that it was, a couple of years, prior to COVID, right? Because with COVID lockdowns and people not being able to tournaments, it kind of threw everything off. But having the UTR is a good indicator of kind of where your level was at, but it's not the end-all be-all by all means, right? What I'm really looking for in players, I want to be able to see a video. I want to be able to see you play. I want to be able to see, point play, not just, I get videos all the time of players hitting forehands for 5 minutes, backhands for 5 minutes. It doesn't take me that long to see if you can hit a good forehand or backhand, all right? So my recommendation is, you can sprinkle that in, 30 seconds forehand at the backhand, a couple of serves, couple of I want to see some volleys, right? Doubles is an important part of college tennis, but I really want to see some match play, some point play, right? I want to see how your mind works. What do you do in certain situations, right? Even if you don't end up winning the point, that's okay. I want to see how you react and how you really go about playing a match, right? What's happening in between the points? What's your posture like? What's your emotions like? How do you handle yourself on the tennis court? Because that's really important into how you're going to develop, right? Anyone can send me a highlight reel and I can think they're the best player in the world and can go out and beat some of the pro players, but it's a highlight reel. It's you can tell when it's edited. So send me some match play. That's what I really want to see. Okay. I'm also looking for players that are looking to come in and get better, right? Players that are ready to come in and learn. I think that a lot of players think that they need to get to a certain level and then that's it. Like, that's done. Like, all right, I made it. Now I'm in college. Now what do I do, right? I think it's important for me at my program, a lot of other coaches, to really bring in players that want to learn, want to get better, want to understand the game better, want to understand how to make adjustments, want to understand how to, control a match, how to react when things are happening, right? And you need to come in with an open mind, right? Now, we spend a lot of time working and developing our players. This isn't just a one and done, you get one season, you're done. This is a 4-year journey. And over the course of that journey, I want you to learn. I want you to get better, to grow as a person and as well as a tennis player, right? So it's coming ready to learn, right? And with that being said, you're going to college to learn. You're going to college to get a degree, to further your education, right? And tennis is going to be a massive part of that if you decide to join a college tennis team, right? But also you got to make sure your academics are up. Like for me, it's mandatory that my team, has a 3.0 or above, or else they have to do tutoring. They have to go to study hall hours. They have to make sure they're putting in the work to get their grades up, because it's the end all be all. That's why you're here in college. As much as I'm competitive, as much as I want to win and have my players only focus on tennis, that's not the reality, right? And I don't want them to be so focused, because tennis, there's only a small percentage of tennis players that go on to make their career, right? What they're going to really do is go to school, get their degree, and maybe go to postgraduate school, right? Or get a career in the field that they want to study in, right? And so they got to make sure that they're prepared for that, so that they go into the world prepared, right? If they spend all their time, all their effort only focusing on tennis, and tennis doesn't work out for them, or maybe things happen, they need to make sure they have everything that they've come to college for, right? So come in ready to commit to your academics, right? Come in ready to learn tennis, learn relationship skills, learn to be a team player. The college tennis is a completely different sport from junior tennis, right? Junior tennis, you're on your own. The worst case scenario is you lose and that's it. Your match is done. In college tennis, you're playing on a team. You have players and teammates that are relying on you to not give up, to battle through them, to battle through your matches, right? And they're going to do the same for you. And that's something that is very unique to college tennis, right? I mean, you have world team tennis a little bit, you have junior team tennis a little bit, you have club tennis, if you're over in Europe. But college tennis is its own sport, right? And it's very loud, it's very rowdy, it's very cheerful, it's very, it's a team camaraderie is a huge aspect of our sport here in college. Okay, so really come in and be a team player, right? Be someone who is willing to give it all for the team. Doesn't matter what position you're playing, doesn't matter what role you're playing. It doesn't matter if you're the number 1 on the team or number 15, right? Everyone has to live and die for the team, and that helps build the atmosphere. It helps build the culture of the team, right? So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what a lot of college coaches are looking for, right? Is being that team player. Someone who's willing to lay on the line for their team, right? Someone who is ready to come in and learn, right? Someone who's ready to thrive in the academic environment. Okay, so I hope this video helps you understand college tennis a little bit more. I know that there's a lot of confusion, a lot of people who are still curious about what to do. Honestly, you need to reach out to coaches. You need to get yourself seen, right, by sending video, inviting coaches out to watch you play tournaments or even practices. I've had junior players that I work with that coaches are coming out to watch them practice, right? And that's valuable. That's valuable relationship, right? Creating that relationship with the coaches is going to be key, and you can start that early and start at junior year of high school. Really start building those connections and relationships. As much as it would be nice to have every coach reach out to you, simply that's not going to happen. There's a ton of players looking to go play college tennis, right? And there's a limited amount of coaches, and you need to get yourself seen. Give yourself the opportunity. You can do some research. If you want to join a recruiting service, you're more than welcome to. There's a ton of them out there. Or look at colleges that you're interested in, search up their program, and email their coaches directly. They want to hear from you, right? Don't feel like you're going to bother them. Their job is to make sure that they're bringing in good players that are going to benefit their program, right? So do the legwork, reach out to coaches, and really just build a relationship with them. Be honest, be who you are, and be ready to learn, be ready to be a team player, be ready to thrive in your academics, and go out and work hard. Work hard. It's a long journey. It's a tough journey. College tennis is not easy, but it's very rewarding, and it's it's something, an experience that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. See ya.